story that's coming in. Young Turks of India make India proud. The boys in blue, they lift the Under-19 World Cup, and how? In such style. India Under-19, they beat England by 100 runs. This is the 6th Under-19 World Cup for Team India. But this is special. This is extra special. Why is this extra special? Because a one man called Vaibhav Suryavanshi. I want to tell you more about that 14-year-old. Watch that 14-year-old. Vaibhav Suryavanshi is the next big star on the horizon. Vaibhav Suryavanshi delivered a knock for the ages. He's all of 14. A stunning 175 from just 80 balls in the Under-19 World Cup final against England. And this had to be seen to be believed. Watch that youngster. He's all of 14. He's all of 14. He hammered 15 sixes and 15 fours. You know what was his strike rate? A strike rate of 218.75. Brutal, and yet breathtaking knock. And this is the Harare Sports Club in Zimbabwe. I want to quickly bring in Nikhil Naz, our sports editor on this. Nikhil, this is spectacular. The win is spectacular, but Vaibhav Suryavanshi is even more spectacular. The first 24 of 24 balls, and then the last 151 just of 56 deliveries.
Well, that's right, Gaurav. If I start talking about Vaibhav Suryavanshi, I might just eat up your entire show. I mean, that's how special that young boy is. But most importantly, I think, I'm just looking at those pictures right now on the television screen of the entire Indian squad celebrating there. And I think those are pictures that will stay in our minds for a very long time. Remember, India, even before going into this final, were the most successful team in the history of the competition, having won this Under-19 World Cup title 5 times. The next best, of course, Australia, having won 4 times. Now they've extended their lead on the top. This is the 6th title that India have won at the Under-19 level. And now my mind goes back all the way to the year 2000. That's the first time India won that title. It gave us big names. Mohammad Kaif was the captain. Certain Yuvraj Singh was part of that squad. That's when they first won that title. And since then, India have had a rich history of winning titles. I can rattle off names, players like Virat Kohli, Ravindra Jadeja, Prithvi Shaw, Unmukh Chand, all the captains that were there at one point to help India win that title. Yashdul was the last Indian captain to win the title. And I think why this is special, because the last edition in 2024, India came very close, reached the final, and yet could not get their hands on the trophy. This time, they've gone one better. And I must tell you, even though India came into this tournament, Gaurav, as the most successful team in the history of this tournament, yet they weren't the favorites. Why? Because you had a Under-19 Asia Cup before this particular World Cup, and on that occasion, India faltered in the final. They had been looking like a good team, but come the final day, they faltered. So there were these doubts that can this team on the big day put one across the opponent, and they've shown it, and they've done it in style. I think the testament to this team's temperament as well as quality is the fact that on a final day, when there are so much nerves, you speak about Vaibhav Suryavanshi, but India have notched up 411 runs, a record at that. So that tells you that not only are these talented players, they also have nerves of steel.
They have nerves of steel, and every youngster you've mentioned in Under-19 with these nerves of steel, actually they've done so well when they became a part of the India team too subsequently. But for a moment, let's talk about Vaibhav Suryavanshi. He's all of 14, 175 runs of just 80 balls. What do you make of this 14-year-old?
I am going to use a word for him, and that is a freak. And that's in a very good sense of the word. And I'll tell you why. Over the years of having watched cricket, covered cricket, I've seen many attacking batters, not just from India, from across the globe, and aggressive batters at that, who bat at a high strike rate, as you just mentioned. There have been other batters too that have batted at very high strike rate. But I think two things that make this particular player, very different to any player that I've seen till now. And I know a lot of people might say that, listen, this is still the under 19 level, but I
Yes.
might remind them that he's done some outrageous thing in the IPL as well when he's playing with the big boys. Now, to the thing, what makes him different, I think one is fearlessness. Yes, you've had attacking batters who take charge, who attack bowlers when they get the opportunity. But I've not seen a batter who just comes with a mindset that I'm only going to attack. There is not a single defensive bone in his body, and I don't think I can say for any other batter before this to have this ability. Secondly, you,
Yeah.
as I said, you've had attacking batters that can clear the ground, hit big sixes, hit plenty of sixes, plenty of fours. But you know what makes this player different is there are certain deliveries, no matter how good a batter you are, you could have been Sachin Tendulkar, Viv Richards, whoever you'd like. There are certain deliveries that are almost impossible to hit. I'll give you an example. A slow off cutter by a fast bowler, bang in the middle of the pitch. That's a loopy, slow off cutter. That
Yeah.
ball has no business going over the boundary line, no matter who the batter. Vaibhav Sooryavanshi hits the most outrageous shot down the ground to a short pitch delivery like that, which is a slow one, because for a slow one, you really need to pack a punch. And he clears the boundary. Something that you think he'll sky it, most other batters, I say, will sky the ball, he'll be out, but he hits it for a six. So certain shots you've never seen in your life is something that is Vaibhav Suryavanshi is doing. And that's why I say he's a freak of nature. He's extra special. Things, it's not just about his age. Had he been 17, 18, 19, I still would have said the same thing, because some of his strokes, his mindset is something that I've never
It's
seen
his
before in
mindset.
cricket.
It's almost like artificial intelligence at play. He's able to judge the ball so quickly, and that supercomputer in his head, it tells him how to tackle it. But he's like all of 14, 15 sixes, 15 fours, strike rate of 218.75. But he kept his head very, squarely on his shoulders. The first 24 balls, he scored only 24 runs. And then he started hitting 151 of 56 deliveries. So he understood the game, the pitch first, and then went out, didn't he?
Yeah, that's correct, Gaurav. I mean, that I think was slightly unusual. I also can't remember, in the IPL that I've seen, or at the India A level or the under 19s level. Now he's played a lot of cricket, domestic cricket also. We've been keeping a track of him. I don't think I've ever seen him go 24 balls for 24 runs to begin with. I mean, so in that sense, I think it took note of the situation that today is the big day, and I have to carry on my shoulders the burden of the entire batting line. That's not to say there are not other star batters in this team. It's absolutely packed with a lot of good players. But I
Yes.
think he realized that I'm the X factor. Today, I have to just give myself that little luxury of 24 deliveries, which he did. And after that, just take a look at it. 15 sixes, 15 fours. He scored 175, 150 runs only of boundaries. He just doesn't want to run. I think he hates to run. And he says, why do I need to run when I can just smack the ball for fours and sixes? And that's
I'm
exactly
sure England
what
didn't
he's
know
done.
what hit them. England just didn't know what hit them. I think this is the sixth highest score also, if my memory serves me right. But for a moment, images at Ayush Mahatre's house in Mumbai. Nikhil, I want you to describe these images for our viewers. I mean, just how ecstatic is everyone. The family, these are tears of joy. But beyond tears of joy, there's happiness because Indian cricket is so safe in these hands.
No, that's true, Gaurav. It's heartening to see. Again, Ayush Matre is a great example of humble beginnings. And I think that's the story of Indian cricket. I can, think of so many names that come from cities like Mumbai, now Vaibhav from Patna. You've had, players come from Punjab, just as you see this team. And in fact, that's also the speciality of this team. You've got a
Absolutely.
pan-India representation in this particular team, and talent coming from across
Okay.
the country. And
Nikhil, I
Ayush
want
Matre,
all our viewers to listen in to this India. And you're right, this is, India at 411 for 9 in 50 overs is the fifth highest total in under 19 World Cup. Listen in to the happiness in Mumbai and across the country.